what can be done regarding their situation. Market is very bad, they're not getting jobs. Consultancy they are working for is trying everything. So first thing, let me understand your situation. You didn't get a job in a proper company like Google, Microsoft, Walmart, Kmart IT department, Walmart IT department, or General Motors or Dell IT department, right? So that's taken. Okay. Second thing is, you're an OPT or CPT, I understand, and you understand that you cannot go back. You don't want to go back to India because there's a 90-day rule. You know it. Especially for OPT people, there's a 90-day rule. They have to go back to India. So you need to be here, and then that's the way you have chosen, right? I'll tell you the entire method. But before I tell anything, I tell you one thing very simply. I'll tell you something very simple. If you don't have a maid in your home, or you basically belong to class 3, who doesn't even have a maid in your home in India, no maid, mom does everything, mom and sisters do everything, you should be here. You should try to do something. If you're class 2 where you have a basic maid coming who just comes and cleans and all that stuff, then you're class 2. You need to think whether you really need to be here. I know some guys who have 10 crore worth of property in India. They have a basic maid coming. They have their own house, their sole son or sole daughter, and they are languishing here. I'm telling you, everybody, whether they're class 2 or 1, depends on how much is they running. The person I'm talking about is her father's running is around 1.5 crore rupees a year. But she has decided to be here, and if you are class 1 like him, then or upper class 1, then you should definitely go back to India. That's my first thing. There is nothing in this country. After OPT, you will be in the line of H1. After you get a job on OPT, then you'll be on the line for H1. Then after H1, you'll be on the line for LCA, then 140, then H4 EAD, then GC, then green, then this thing, then 485 line, very long line of 485, maybe 10-year long line, and then finally you'll get the green card, and then you'll be in the line to citizenship. This country is not for you. If you still want a solution, you should do something else other than OPT CPT. You should basically, in my mind, you should take Canadian or Australian citizenship, and then you should come back to this country. If you still don't want to do it, first thing is you should go back to India. There is really nothing in this country for you. I'm telling you now. H1 is a slave visa. I've made videos like that. You should watch that video. L1 is you will be on H1, right? There is really nothing in this country. After achieving everything, let's say you get H1, you start making $12,000 to $15,000 a month per person. And let's say your wife, and she's also making $12,000 to $15,000 a month, which is $25,000 to $30,000 a month. Trust me, your life will be very bad still. It will be a middleman's life. Forever you'll be looking at working, and the tensions won't stop here. Loneliness will creep in. It's a very materialistic. People don't talk much. It's not a great life. Okay? If you still want, and lifestyle will be very poor in comparison to what your lifestyle could have been in India. Actually, the lifestyle that you left in India is what you will achieve in maybe 20 years. You probably will go closer to that lifestyle. If you are class 2, if you are class 1, forget it. You'll never have a maid. Having said all this, that knowing that this is not the right choice for you, but there are so many people who still want to stay in OPT, who still want to stay in this country. Okay, I'll give you the solution. The solution is, you need to keep doing what you're doing, because that is the only option. The other options are eliminated, right? You didn't get a job to go in Google, Microsoft. You don't want to go to India. You don't want to stay here. Then your option is only basic consultancy. So just keep it as a lesson, and tomorrow don't blame consultancy for anything. Market is there, market is bad. Get into some kind of a niche skill. Like for example, I would say, I know if a person is technical, let's say .NET or Java, within Java, you should get into MuleSoft. MuleSoft has a better market. Similarly, within .NET, there should be some application of .NET. I'm not sure, but you should get into a field like OIM, Oracle Identity Manager, if you're technical enough, or Informatica MDM, or there are other fields like this. You should get into any such field which is little niche, and then you have better chances, right? People who are business analysts or QA analysts just should leave manual QA. It's very hard to get a job in manual QA. They should get into SQL QA, database QA. That's much easier. That's a little bit more difficult, and not very many people have that skill. And when there is a database manual tester job, you have to know databases. So then your market feasibility is a little higher. Similarly, in business analysts, I always suggest get into a specialist domain like finance domain or healthcare domain. And there is another field called SQL business analyst, or business system analyst, or business data analyst, right? or sometimes the merger of these both fields, healthcare business analyst with SQL skills or finance business analyst with SQL skills. They are in very high demand, and when there is a position like this, you can get that job. And okay, obviously you have to work through your consultancy. You have to work and other thing is, many people asking, they are doing all these things, whatever they are doing, if everybody is doing that, it cannot be too wrong. They are thinking of something, right? If they are not playing games with the USCIS, if they are playing some games with USCIS, then that's wrong. But other than that, it should not be that wrong. I mean, if they are doing something, right? You can check, you can verify. I'm not sure what all they are doing, but you can check. Having said this is your only hope. You need to really work on your skill set. Just as the market open, even now you will get a job. In my mind, you can get a job within 6 to 8 weeks. In my mind, that's how I feel. If you work hard, if you float your resume properly, talk to everybody, don't waste your time, you will get the job. In my mind, within 6 to 8 weeks, you'll get 3 to 4 interviews, and we can, the consultancy can help you clear the interview. By the way, just for record, I do the same thing. I actually, run the consultancy of the similar for OPD guys only. So I know what I'm talking about. And if you want to work with me, I have no problem. In general, there is really nothing much I can do for my audience, but you are if you are an OPD guy, then I might be able to help you. But it's up to you. There are so many consultants in New Jersey and Chicago. I don't want to use this platform to woo people. This is not a lead generation platform. I want to keep it horizontal. I want to keep it general purpose for everybody. So there are so many consultants in New Jersey. In my mind, they are all equally good. If they have someone who can help you clear the interview, who can give you interview support, training support, post-job support, and on-job support, and before joining support, technical support. If they can give you all this technical support, then they are as good as everybody. Make sure you try to find someone who specializes in healthcare, SQL, and business analyst. If you're having good communication skills, nobody can stop you from getting a job within 6 to 8 weeks, right? It will be a low-paying job in the initial days, but then after 1 year, it definitely give you $55 to $60 an hour in your gross salary, as your gross salary, and then you start to build on top. And another tip I can give you: after 2 years of being in the IT industry, you can try to get into a high-paying skill and highly stable skill like MuleSoft, or some integration technology like IBM MQ, or I would prefer MuleSoft, or OIM, Oracle Identity Manager, or Informatica MDM. So these are the fields you can try, and I feel these are great fields for anybody to be in, and that will give you some kind of freedom. It's very easy to get remote jobs. Even before COVID, you could get the remote jobs in these kind of fields. So it will be very easy to get the remote job. That's one. Second thing is, and you can, in my mind, you should be able to get a remote job quite easily, or maybe once. So semi-remote jobs, like once in a month you have to go to the office. Those liberate you a lot, and they basically help you. You can build a very prosperous career. So you and your wife, if you build the career of your wife in the same way, you both can easily make $12,000 to $15,000 per month per person, and then that will mean $25,000 to $30,000 for the household. And I told you before, that won't really set you free. It will give you a middle managed lifestyle. It's a lot of money in India. Don't invest it in India. I told in my multiple videos, don't waste your money in India. I did that, so I don't do that. Don't send even a single pie to India. Just help whosoever you're sending, send it for help. Your father spent maybe 25 lakhs, paying 50 lakhs, but that's a different story. But don't send it to buy real estate. Don't send it to do any business whatsoever in India, right? Still, and try to look for an option of investor visa. That's another option, great option. Look for an option of E2 visa. After you get money, you can think in terms of solving your immigration problems. Instead of getting, you can get the H1, or maybe not get the H1, but instead of getting into this CPT, new PhD, if you don't get a H1, then you obviously have to do PhD or something, right? So getting into this loop, you start thinking in terms of from day one, right from today. Once you get your money, once you start making money, you start to think in terms of how you can file for E2 visa or investor visa. They will give you a lot of freedom also. So having said all these things, these are some of the options you have, and all the best for what you are trying to achieve. It's a little hard, but remember, you have to stay on course if you believe this is the right thing for you to do. Although I believe that the right thing for you, for most of the people that I come across, is to go back to India and then live with your parents and live a more fulfilling and more financially rewarding and more successful life. But anyway, people don't understand, so they want to be here. So I gave you solutions if you still want to be here. Okay, thank you guys.